Seniors over 60 stop eating these 7 worst fruits. They destroy leg strength.
Have your legs been feeling weaker lately, even though you're eating healthy? Stairs feel steeper, chairs feel lower, and your once effortless morning walks, now they leave you winded. It's not just aging, and it's not your fault, because some of the worst foods for your legs are hiding in your fruit bowl. Fruits that claim to boost your health, but are silently eating away at your strength, balance, and mobility. Today, we're exposing 7 dangerous fruits every senior should avoid. Some of them may be in your fridge right now.
Fruit number 1, pineapple. The sweet saboteur that's slowly stealing your strength. Pineapple. It's tropical, juicy, full of color and flavor. And for years you've been told it's good for you. Great for digestion, they say. Powerful anti-inflammatory, they add. Doctors recommend it. Nutritionists praise it. But here's the harsh truth, especially if you're over 60. That golden slice of paradise may be quietly draining the strength from your legs. Let's take a step back. Imagine this. You wake up. It's a good day. You slept fine. You're motivated. You're ready to take a walk around the neighborhood. You grab a light breakfast, maybe a bowl of oatmeal and a few chunks of fresh pineapple. You feel like you're doing the right thing. But within 20 minutes, your legs start to feel heavy. Not painful exactly, just slow, tight. Your knees feel like they're working harder than they should. You chalk it up to age, or maybe you just need to stretch more. But what if I told you it's not your routine? It's the fruit. Pineapple contains bromelain, yes, a natural enzyme that can reduce inflammation in some cases. But bromelain doesn't work in isolation. What pineapple also delivers, in high doses, are natural fruit acids and concentrated sugars. Here's what happens inside your body. As you age, your blood vessels become thinner, less elastic, and more reactive to sudden spikes in blood sugar. The natural sugars in pineapple, known as fructose and glucose, rush into your bloodstream almost immediately. Your pancreas works hard to release insulin, but insulin resistance is common after 60. Which means your cells don't respond as well. The sugar lingers in your blood longer, damaging delicate capillaries and reducing blood flow to the areas that need it most: your legs, your feet, and your joints. Result? Muscle fatigue, oxygen deprivation, swelling in the ankles, a dull, dragging ache in your calves even if you haven't done anything strenuous, a burning tightness in your knees just from standing too long. And it's not just the sugar, the acid factor. Pineapple is also loaded with citric acid and malic acid, compounds that can irritate sensitive tissues, especially joints that are already inflamed from arthritis or wear and tear. If you've got existing stiffness or pain in your knees, hips, or ankles, these acids can be like pouring salt on a wound. You might notice after eating pineapple, your legs feel hot or swollen. You experience random joint flare-ups hours later. There's stiffness getting up from a chair, even if you've been sitting all day. And here's the real kicker. There's no warning. You don't eat pineapple and immediately collapse. The damage creeps in slowly, meal by meal, snack by snack, day by day.
By the time you feel the symptoms, that uncomfortable pressure in your thighs, that subtle loss of balance, the pattern is already set. And still, many seniors keep eating it. Why? Because they've been told for years that fruits like pineapple are superfoods. But what's super for a 25-year-old isn't always safe for a 65-year-old. Now, is pineapple evil? No. But if you've been struggling with leg pain, tightness, unexplained swelling, or fatigue after walking, this might be the subtle trigger you've overlooked. If you must enjoy pineapple, do it in very small portions and never on an empty stomach. Even better, replace it with fruits that are lower in sugar, easier on your joints, and friendly to aging blood vessels. Because at this stage in life, every bite either builds your strength or slowly chips it away.
Fruit number 2, bananas, the muscle food that can make your legs feel like lead. Bananas are the good guy, right? They're soft, convenient, full of potassium, and marketed as nature's energy bar. You've probably eaten them your whole life, before workouts, for breakfast, maybe even before bed to stop cramps. But here's what nobody's telling seniors. After 60, bananas may do the exact opposite of what you expect. Yes, bananas contain potassium, which helps support muscle contraction, but they also contain something far more sinister for aging bodies: fast-acting carbohydrates, natural sugars, and a tendency to spike insulin. Let's break it down. As you age, your metabolism slows. The engine burns fuel less efficiently, and your ability to regulate blood sugar gets weaker, even if you don't have diabetes. So when you eat a banana, your body receives a rush of glucose and fructose, followed by a wave of insulin to try and clean up the mess. This spike crash cycle does several things. It inflames your joints, especially in the knees, ankles, and hips. It tightens your calves and hamstrings, leaving your legs sore after even a short walk. It messes with your circulation, causing your feet and ankles to swell, sometimes by midday. You thought the banana would help you stay active, but now your legs feel like bricks. Still not convinced? Let's go deeper.
Bananas are also high in resistant starch when underripe and fermentable sugars when overripe. That means your gut bacteria can overreact, causing bloating, water retention, and, you guessed it, leg stiffness, cramps, and general heaviness. Many seniors also deal with mild heart conditions, and here's where bananas become double trouble. They contribute to fluid retention, especially if your kidneys or heart aren't working at peak efficiency. The result? Puffy ankles, swollen toes, and that frustrating feeling that your shoes fit tighter than they used to. Worst of all, bananas are so easy to overeat. One in the morning, one in a smoothie, one after dinner. You think you're keeping your energy up, but what you're actually doing is triggering a cycle of inflammation, stiffness, and muscle fatigue day after day. You're not getting older, you're just eating a fruit that no longer serves your body the way it used to. That's the trap. For younger people, bananas might help, but for aging legs, they can be one of the sneakiest sources of decline. You don't have to give them up forever, but if your legs often feel tired, swollen, or crampy, this is one fruit to cut back immediately. Are your legs feeling heavier than they used to? You're not imagining it, and you're not alone. Type 1 in the comments if this video is already opening your eyes, or type 0 if you still think bananas are harmless. You might be shocked by what's coming next.
Fruit number 3, grapes, the bite-sized burden hiding in plain sight. They look innocent, maybe even healing, small, juicy, easy to pop into your mouth like candy. Grapes have long been linked to heart health, antioxidants, and even cancer prevention. But for seniors over 60, grapes may be one of the most deceptive leg saboteurs of all. Here's why. Grapes are loaded with fructose, a natural sugar that behaves very differently from glucose. Instead of being used immediately for energy, fructose must be processed by your liver. And as you age, your liver slows down, just like the rest of your metabolism. The result? Fructose turns into fat and uric acid. And when that uric acid builds up in your bloodstream, guess where it goes? Straight into your joints, especially in the toes, knees, and ankles, the exact areas that support your every step. Over time, that buildup can lead to sudden pain in the big toe, gout flare-ups, burning sensations in your feet, swollen ankles that feel stiff by mid-afternoon, or a strange pulsing ache in your calves after walking. And unlike processed sweets, grapes feel safe. You don't count them. You just keep nibbling. But that's the problem. They're too easy to overeat. 2 handfuls, 3 cups. You think you're snacking smart, but you're flooding your system with sugar that turns toxic to your joints. Here's another twist. Grapes don't spike blood sugar as fast as bananas or pineapple. They accumulate silently. You may not feel the damage today, but wait a few weeks or months. You'll start to notice your feet feeling hotter than usual, tightness in your legs when you get up from bed, and worst of all, an invisible inflammation that slows you down from the inside out. Many seniors think they're making a heart-smart choice with grapes, but unless you're eating them in strict moderation, they could be the hidden cause behind your stiff morning walks, sleepless legs at night, or even those mysterious joint flares you can't quite explain. So next time you reach for a bunch of grapes, ask yourself, am I feeding my body or my inflammation? Quick check-in. Are you seeing a pattern yet? If you've eaten any of the fruits we've mentioned so far and felt stiffness, fatigue, or swelling afterward, drop a yes in the comments, because you're not alone, and the next fruit on the list might be the one hitting you hardest.
Fruit number 4, watermelon, the hydration hero that's secretly hurting you. Watermelon, the poster child of summer. It's light, refreshing, and 92% water. What could possibly be wrong with something that feels so harmless? But here's the surprise most seniors never see coming. Watermelon can behave like pure sugar in the bloodstream. And for aging legs, that can be a recipe for exhaustion, swelling, and joint breakdown. Let's start with the science. Watermelon has an extremely high glycemic index, meaning it causes blood sugar to spike rapidly. Now, it may be low in calories, yes, but your body doesn't measure calories first. It responds to glucose. That means every time you take a bite of watermelon, your pancreas scrambles to release insulin. But after 60, that insulin doesn't work as quickly. So what happens? The sugar lingers, and that triggers inflammation, especially in areas already struggling with poor circulation, like your ankles, knees, calves, and even the soft tissues around your joints. Here's how it shows up. A dull ache in your thighs after eating, puffiness in your feet by evening, that tight, stiff-kneed feeling when you stand up from the couch. But the real danger is how much watermelon we eat. Because it tastes light, people tend to overconsume. 1 slice becomes 2. 2 slices become a bowl. And suddenly, your hydrating snack has dumped more sugar into your system than a candy bar.
Still not convinced? Let's look at one more overlooked effect. Watermelon contains compounds that relax blood vessels, great for young active bodies. But for seniors, this can cause lightheadedness, unstable balance, and poor circulation in the lower extremities. Combine that with inflamed joints, and you've got a perfect storm for weakened legs. And just like with grapes, you won't notice the damage right away. You'll just feel a little more sluggish than usual, a little more stiff, a little less steady on stairs, until one day your legs tell you something's not right. So yes, watermelon hydrates, but if you're over 60 and noticing swollen feet, fatigued legs, or increasing difficulty walking, it might be time to rethink this summer favorite.
Fruit number 5. Oranges. The morning ritual that may be fueling joint inflammation. Bright, tangy, packed with vitamin C. Oranges have been a breakfast staple for decades, especially for those trying to stay healthy after 60. They're seen as an immunity booster, a safe way to start the day, and a natural source of energy. But here's what no one warns you about. For seniors with aging joints and slower metabolism, oranges may quietly stir up inflammation, starting with your legs. Let's break this myth wide open. Oranges are high in citric acid, and while that's helpful for digestion in small amounts, it can be a nightmare for inflamed joints, especially if you're already dealing with arthritis, knee stiffness, hip soreness, or limited mobility. Citric acid doesn't just stay in your stomach. It enters your bloodstream, and when it does, it can irritate soft tissues, especially in already inflamed or worn-down joints. Here's how it plays out. You start your morning with a glass of orange juice. You feel good for an hour or two, energized, refreshed. But by late morning, your knees start to feel tight. Your ankles are a bit swollen, and your legs feel strangely sore after sitting. At first, it feels unrelated, but over time, the connection becomes clear. Every time you have citrus, your legs pay the price. And that's not all. Oranges are also loaded with natural sugar, especially in juice form. In fact, an 8-ounce glass of orange juice has as much sugar as a can of soda. It just wears a healthy disguise. The sugar triggers insulin, which in aging bodies often leads to inflammation in low circulation areas. Your knees, your hips, your lower back, and yes, your calves and feet. It doesn't matter that it's natural. Sugar is sugar, and if your body can't regulate it fast enough, it becomes a fuel source for pain. Oranges may boost your immune system, but they can also flood your joints with discomfort, especially when you least expect it. Worse yet, many seniors drink orange juice daily, sometimes on an empty stomach, which amplifies the acid impact and sugar absorption. That's a double hit to your strength. So, what's the smarter play? If you love citrus, consider lower acid alternatives like papaya or berries. They support immunity without stripping your stability. Because at this stage in life, what you drink in the morning can shape how your knees feel at night.
Fruit number 6. Green apples. The sour bite that quietly strains your legs. Green apples. They look clean, crisp, less sugary than their red cousins. To many seniors, they feel like the safe choice, a lighter option for those watching blood sugar or avoiding overly sweet snacks. But hidden behind that sour crunch is a quiet storm, one that may be tightening your joints, stiffening your legs, and draining your mobility without warning. Let's peel back the truth. First, let's talk malic acid, the compound responsible for that sharp, tangy flavor in green apples. Now, malic acid isn't all bad. In fact, it's even used in small doses to improve energy metabolism. But here's the problem. For aging bodies, especially those with weakened gut linings, inflammation, or sensitive joints, malic acid can be too much to handle. Your stomach becomes more reactive as you age, and if the gut is inflamed, leaky, or stressed, acids from certain foods can seep into the bloodstream and trigger joint irritation, especially in your knees, hips, ankles, and the small connective tissues in your feet. You may not feel it the second you bite into a green apple, but a few hours later, you might notice
A burning sensation in your thighs or calves, a sudden tightness in your knees when rising from a chair, or a feeling like your legs are moving through molasses. Most people don't connect the dots. They blame age or think they just slept funny. But when that pattern repeats, especially after eating acidic fruits, it's no coincidence. But malic acid isn't the only problem. Green apples, though less sweet than red ones, still contain natural sugars, enough to cause blood sugar fluctuations, particularly when eaten alone. And those fluctuations cause a chain reaction in older adults, spiked insulin to slowed circulation to less oxygen to the legs, less oxygen to muscle fatigue, heaviness, and sluggish movement. Now imagine this. You snack on a green apple before your evening walk. You think you're fueling your body, but halfway through, your calves feel stiff, your knees ache, your steps get shorter. You return home more tired than when you left.
That's not fuel, that's friction. And it gets worse when green apples are eaten raw, unpeeled, or before bed. When your digestion is slower and your body has fewer resources to regulate inflammation. Over time, it builds. You feel stiffer in the mornings. Your joints feel hot even when you're resting. And that once refreshing crunch becomes a source of discomfort you never suspected. Here's the truth. Green apples aren't bad in theory, but they might be wrong for you right now, especially if you're noticing night cramps, you wake up with swollen feet, or you've got unexplained joint flare-ups that just won't go away. If any of that sounds familiar, it may be time to hit pause on the healthy apple habit. Because strength in your legs doesn't just come from what you do. It also comes from what you don't put in your body.
Fruit number 7. Mango, the tropical treat that acts like candy in disguise. Mangoes. Soft, juicy, sweet as honey. For many seniors, they feel like a reward, a healthy indulgence that reminds you of tropical vacations, Sunday desserts, or childhood treats. But beneath the smooth texture and sunshine-colored flesh hides something your aging legs cannot afford to ignore. A sugar load so dense, it may be triggering inflammation deep inside your joints every time you take a bite. Let's look beyond the surface. Mangoes are one of the highest sugar fruits on the planet. A single medium-sized mango contains 45 grams of natural sugar, more than a can of soda. Sure, it's natural, but for your body, that distinction doesn't matter. Once that sugar hits your bloodstream, the clock starts ticking. Here's what happens. Your pancreas rushes to release insulin to bring down the sugar levels. But after 60, insulin sensitivity drops. The sugar lingers, and that's when the inflammation cascade begins. This isn't the type of inflammation you can see instantly. It's quiet. It hides in the soft tissue, your ligaments, your tendons, your joint linings. Especially in the knees, hips, and ankles, the places already burdened by decades of walking, lifting, climbing stairs.
What might you feel after eating a mango? Tingling or burning in your feet, especially at night? A hot tightness around your kneecaps or lower back? Swelling in your toes or ankles after sitting too long? Or just a sense that your legs feel heavier than they should? You'd never think to blame the mango. After all, it's just fruit, right? But that's the trap. Because mango doesn't feel like dessert, but your body reacts as if you just ate a handful of candy. There's another twist. Mango contains urushiol, the same compound found in poison ivy, in much smaller amounts. While most people tolerate it fine, some sensitive seniors may develop low-grade allergic reactions, including joint inflammation, skin rashes, or internal irritation. And remember, mango is so delicious, it's hard to stop at one slice. 2 or 3 helpings later, your blood sugar has surged, your joints are inflamed, and your legs feel like they're walking through mud. This is how slow, invisible damage builds. Not from fried food, not from fast food, but from something you thought was good for you. And over time, that innocent little mango becomes a daily trigger for fatigue, imbalance, and reduced mobility.
So ask yourself, is the taste worth the trade-off? You're not giving up flavor, you're trading one fruit for another, one that heals instead of harms. Because after 60, every bite needs to earn its place in your body. And mango, as tempting as it is, may be the most seductive strength stealer of them all. How many of these healthy fruits caught you by surprise? 1, 2, maybe all 7? Drop the number in the comments. Your story could help someone else realize what's really holding them back. And don't go anywhere, because the fruits we're covering next, they don't just avoid damage, they actually rebuild your strength, ease your pain, and help your legs feel lighter, steadier, and more alive.
Good fruit number 1. Berries, the tiny fighters that deflate swelling and fuel movement. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These aren't just pretty toppings for yogurt. They're some of the most powerful leg healers in nature. Why? Because berries are rich in antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, compounds proven to reduce inflammation at the cellular level. They don't flood your blood sugar. They don't irritate your joints. Instead, they go to work repairing. Here's what they do for seniors. Improve blood flow to the lower legs. Calm swollen tissues around joints. reduce stiffness after periods of sitting or walking, and even help protect against muscle degeneration. And unlike bananas or grapes, berries are low glycemic, meaning they won't spike insulin or promote fat storage. Bonus? They also support brain health and balance, two other factors that help prevent falls as we age. Whether frozen or fresh, you only need a small handful a day to start noticing the difference. Want lighter steps, steadier knees, and easier mornings? Start here.
Good fruit number 2, cherries, the joint-soothing sweet treat that lowers uric acid. They're small, sweet, a little tart, and if you're dealing with joint pain, stiffness, or nighttime aches in your feet and knees, cherries could be the natural remedy you didn't know you needed. Here's why. Cherries, especially tart cherries, contain compounds called anthocyanins and polyphenols. These natural chemicals don't just reduce inflammation, they specifically target uric acid buildup, the root cause of pain in conditions like gout, arthritis, and stiff joints. For seniors who experience burning pain in the big toe, morning stiffness in the knees, or a tight, swollen feeling in the ankles after walking, cherries can act like a natural pressure release. And unlike high-sugar fruits like mangoes or bananas, cherries offer relief without causing sugar spikes when eaten in moderation. They've even been shown in studies to lower C-reactive protein, a major inflammation marker, improve sleep quality thanks to natural melatonin, and reduce the frequency of gout flares. Just a handful of cherries a few times per week, fresh, frozen, or unsweetened juice, can deliver powerful results. But be careful not to overdo it. Cherries are medicine-like when respected, but like anything, too many can tip the balance. Aim for half a cup to 1 cup per serving, preferably alongside a small meal with protein or fiber to stabilize absorption. This fruit isn't just a sweet snack. It's a joint support system in disguise. Want to walk without flinching? Try swapping your usual sugary fruit with a few cherries, and pay attention to how your knees and ankles feel the next morning. Have you ever tried cherries for joint pain? Type yes or no below.
Good fruit number 3, avocado, the fatty fruit that cushions your joints and stabilizes strength. Yes, avocado is a fruit. And for seniors over 60, it might be one of the most important fruits you can eat to maintain strong, stable legs. Why? Because while most fruits are high in sugar or acid, avocados are the complete opposite. No sugar, no inflammatory acids, and loaded with healthy fats that act like natural joint padding. These monounsaturated fats help reduce systemic inflammation, especially in the knees, hips, and ankles where cartilage wears down with age. But that's just the beginning. Avocados are also rich in magnesium, which eases muscle cramps and spasms, potassium, which helps regulate fluid retention and pressure in the legs, and fiber, which supports blood sugar control and digestive health, both critical for inflammation control. Here's what it does for your legs specifically.
Cushions joints by reducing bone-on-bone grinding, reduces leg swelling caused by poor circulation or fluid imbalance, improves energy by helping you avoid sugar crashes, and supports steady balance and strength. If you've been feeling a little wobbly on your feet, easily fatigued during short walks, or sensitive in your knees and ankles after standing, avocado may help rebuild the foundation from the inside out. And because it contains zero added sugar, it won't spike your insulin or feed chronic inflammation. How to eat it? On toast with eggs, mashed into a smoothie for creaminess, or simply sliced and paired with the lean protein. 1/2 of an avocado a day can make a real difference in how your legs feel and how confidently you move. And unlike tropical fruits that give you a rush and crash, avocado gives you sustained strength, joint comfort, and lasting calm throughout the day. It's not flashy, it's not juicy, but it's exactly what aging joints have been craving.
Good fruit number 4, papaya, the tropical soother that eases inflammation from the inside out. Soft, subtle, easy on the stomach. Papaya might not be the flashiest fruit,
But for seniors battling joint discomfort, digestive issues, and muscle fatigue, it may be exactly what your body is calling for. Papaya contains a powerful natural enzyme called papain, and this enzyme does something rare. It helps break down inflammatory proteins that get trapped in your tissues and joints. That means it doesn't just sit in your gut. It actively works to calm inflammation, especially in parts of the body that are already sore or overworked. Here's what makes papaya uniquely helpful for leg strength. 1. Supports digestion. Easier digestion means less systemic inflammation, which shows up first in the joints and legs. 2. Reduces fluid retention. Papaya's enzyme blend gently encourages detox and can relieve mild swelling in the lower limbs. 3. Loaded with antioxidants, especially vitamin C and beta-carotene, which help protect joint cartilage and promote healing. And unlike watermelon or pineapple, it doesn't spike blood sugar or irritate your stomach lining. Now picture this. You've been waking up with stiff ankles or tightness in your calves. You've tried stretching. You've tried compression socks. But still, something feels off.
That could be your body struggling to digest inflammatory foods and building up internal tension as a result. Papaya helps relieve that from the inside, before it reaches your legs. It's also ideal for seniors with sensitive digestion, IBS, reflux, or stomach acid issues, or food intolerances that cause bloating and joint flares. Plus, it's naturally hydrating, but without the sugar bomb effect of fruits like watermelon. The best way to enjoy papaya? Slice it fresh in the morning with a handful of nuts, blend it into a smoothie with avocado for double joint support, or eat a few spoonfuls after a meal to support digestion and circulation. Just half a cup a few times per week can make a noticeable difference in how your legs feel, especially if stiffness and fatigue are creeping in regularly. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it works quietly and consistently, just like the recovery your legs need most. So if you're tired of feeling inflamed, swollen, or slowed down, papaya might be the gentle giant you've been overlooking.
Good fruit number 5. Pears. The quiet energy booster that supports balance without the sugar crash. Pears don't make headlines. They're not trendy, they're not exotic, but they are one of the safest, most stable fruits you can eat after 60, especially if you're struggling with leg fatigue, blood sugar swings, or slow recovery after standing or walking. Here's why pears belong in your leg-strengthening diet. First, they're low on the glycemic index, which means they raise blood sugar slowly, not all at once. That keeps your energy steady, your joints calm, and your legs strong throughout the day. Unlike sugary fruits like mango or banana, a ripe pear delivers soluble fiber, which slows digestion and supports blood sugar control, natural hydration without overloading your kidneys or blood vessels, or gentle sweetness so you feel satisfied without triggering cravings or inflammation. Think of pears like a slow-burning fuel for your legs. They don't hit hard, they last. There's more. Pears also contain flavonoids, natural plant compounds shown to reduce joint swelling, calm oxidative stress, and improve microcirculation to the lower limbs. If you often feel your legs fade in the late afternoon, your balance gets worse when you're tired, or your knees get stiff after meals,
Pears can help even out the rhythm of your day. They're also ideal for seniors with sensitive digestion, anyone on diuretics or blood pressure meds since they're gentle on the kidneys, and people who want a snack that won't mess with circulation, balance, or inflammation. To make pears even more powerful, pair them with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a few almonds, a slice of cheese, or a scoop of yogurt. This slows the sugar release even further and gives your legs the nutrients they need to move with strength and confidence. Just one small pear in the afternoon, instead of sugary snacks or acidic fruits, can give your legs the lift they've been missing. So don't underestimate this soft, quiet fruit. When chosen wisely, the simplest foods often do the most powerful work.
Which of these healing fruits are you excited to try first? Blueberries for inflammation? Avocados for joint support? Or maybe papaya for that gentle internal reset? Drop the one you're starting with in the comments. And if you're already eating any of them, type already on it.
Let's share ideas and keep each other strong. Each of these fruits was chosen because it fights inflammation, fuels circulation, and helps your legs feel stronger, lighter, and more stable with every step. You've seen the hidden dangers. You've discovered the healing alternatives. And now, the next step is yours. Your legs don't have to feel this way forever. Weakness, swelling, stiffness, they're not just a part of getting older. They're often signals that your body is asking for something different, something smarter, something simpler. And now you know what to do. Because the truth is, your strength doesn't vanish overnight. It's built or broken one bite at a time. So make the shift. Start with just one fruit and let your legs remind you of what's possible. More stability, more freedom, more life in every step.